Hey Scandal Squad, welcome back to the channel, Celebrity ScandaLust. Y'all know I am boots on the ground out here in New York. I am loving it. I told you guys, call me Roomy too, because I'm hey, and I mean that in a good way. For y'all, for those of you that are thinking it's something else, it's not. I am just excited as Roomy was when she was on stage with Beyonce. It's so much happening. Listen, it's sensory overload for me. It really is. The YouTubers have been great. There's like beef with the mainstream media because they're legacy media. They think that they have a right to take over the sidewalks and we can't be out there with them because literally TikTokers and YouTubers, that's where people get their information. And those YouTubers and TikTokers are probably rivaling a lot of them for getting views. So they don't want us around. So that's another story. And then there's the family in and out of the court. There's Cassie's husband in and out of the court. All of that, I got to see the family. I got to see Cassie's husband sitting in the same courtroom with him, watching him as she was giving her testimony. I got so much to talk about, you guys. I ain't going to lie. It has been, I told y'all. Everybody is doing their job. I'm like a kid in a candy store. It's just a lot. But what I want to talk about are the witnesses. So yesterday we ended with Don Richard, or Richard. I'm going to say Richard Child. You know, she fancy. But we ended with Don Richard with her testimony, right? And one of the issues is that the prosecutors haven't been given the witness list in advance enough for the defense team. So they complained about that. Myself and Max V World, y'all go check him out. Another YouTuber. Awesome man. He's been really wonderful to me. You guys taking me all around New York so I can get to trial on time. We stayed after the court, after the jury and Don, after they were adjourned. And so they're saying that starting next week, we should be getting the witness list a little bit sooner. So instead of them piecemealing it to us or y'all or whatever, it looks like the prosecuting team, I'm gonna just say the government, should be providing that at the beginning of the week. So everybody was chattering saying that Aubrey O'day was going to be testifying. That's what we have been hearing. But y'all, TMZ has some new information that she won't be. Now this is shocking because Aubrey was so vocal. A lot of the people who were dead set, yes y'all, I got the freak off nails, I got the freak off nails. They even asked me, was I a member of the family, y'all? So I must be looking pretty manicured, or it could have been the nails. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of people are saying, you know, some of these witnesses, alleged witnesses that were supposed to testify, all of a sudden are backing out, right? And we haven't been getting the full witness list, but they were saying that Aubrey O'day was one of the ones that was supposed to be testifying. Now she's backing out. People are saying it's because she got paid off. Now, allegedly, Diddy has some money and he's paying off folks to, you know, spin the stories and possibly people not to testify. Now let me be clear, y'all, from your ears, from my mouth to your ears, if Diddy offered me some change, my story gonna change. Now I'm playing, y'all. I'm playing. But anyway, let's get back to this. So they're saying that Aubrey is not going to be testifying. So this was a shocker to a lot of us because we have been talking about it, because they were saying it was going to be Don and Aubrey, that it was going to be the two girls from Danity Kane. And so all of a sudden we only have one. So now let's get into it. And this is from TMZ. It says, Aubrey O'day says, I will not testify at the Diddy trial, but I talked to Homeland Security. People really think that she got a payoff. I mean, and that happens. Some people do. They back out because they got paid off. And I mean, you know. So it says, Aubrey O'day says she will not take the stand in the high-profile Sean Diddy Combs trial. The former Danity Kane singer confirmed her decision on TJ Holmes and Amy Robosh's new podcast about the trial after US Weekly reported she was subpoenaed to testify and traveled to New York City to do so. And let me tell you, some of the things that you're going to be hearing from some of these bloggers and YouTubers, they are getting from the attorneys or the associates sitting in the courtroom. People, they're leaking information. Let's just not lie about it. We are sitting next to some of the major players. I personally won't be calling them out because they say things off the record, and you got to be careful what you repeat. Everything you say can and will be held against you. And we're going to talk about how some of that came to backfire on Cassie. However, Cassie is not on trial here, you guys. I mean, in the court of public opinion, yeah, she's getting hammered, but she's not the one on trial here. But anyway, let's get back to this. So it says, however, talking about Aubrey O'Day, she tells TJ and Amy that's not the case. She's in the Big Apple for her own pleasure. She explains she probably came, y'all, to get a payday. Okay, I'm just saying, I don't know. She explains, I posted on my Instagram that I was here in New York and enjoying myself because I wanted to make it clear to everyone I am not testifying. Have fun. You've been at the forefront throwing this man under the bus and you ain't testifying. Why not? Well, I'll tell you why not. Because maybe when she met with Homeland Security, her testimony may not have been relevant. It may not have been, because what I'm seeing is a lot of the testimony that we're hearing now, even with Don Richard, is not necessarily about her up to this point. She only spent like 45 minutes on the stand yesterday, but it's been about how Diddy treated Cassie. So I don't know if at some point they're going to talk about how Diddy treated other people, but everything right now is focused on Cassie. What we found out was 2 weeks after she filed or settled her complaint with Diddy, that's when the feds, I believe they contacted her. I don't think she went and contacted them, but that's what initiated this case against Diddy, not Cassie, but because of the complaint she has. We also learned that she has received a total of $30 million as a result of all of these lawsuits. Bad Boy Records paid her, Diddy, and the Intercontinental Hotel. And we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff in our lives. Some of it is going to be redundant. Some of it will be repetitive because that's how it is in court. You know, when you do the cross-exam and then another detail comes out. So that's what we're going to be doing. Anyway, Aubrey says while she's not taking the stand, she did confirm to the GMA anchors that she was contacted by Homeland Security and had a meeting with them. She did not divulge further details about the meeting. As you know, the federal Diddy trial is in full swing, baby. It is in full swing, and it's stuff happening in the court, outside of the court, on the sidewalk of the court. It's a lot. He pleaded not guilty to the charges of trafficking, transportation of prostitution, and racketeering conspiracy. His ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, testified this week and made bombshell statements. She did, you guys. I mean, if I was her husband, let me clutch this little choker I got. I mean, I don't know. He loves it. He has to love her. But hell, with $30 million, I love you too, baby. Because after what he heard in the courtroom, it takes a strong man to kind of stomach that. I'm just gonna say it. She testified and made some bombshell statements, such as revealing she communicated with him while dating her now husband Alex Fine and was paid a whopping $20 million by the record executive following her 2023 grape lawsuit against him. Interesting thing, and we're gonna talk about that in the live as well. This whole grape is kind of fishy for me because I don't know if she said, because what we found out is she cheated with Diddy on her husband. And one night when they was having an intimate night, the husband called on FaceTime and she doop. So what do we do when we don't want to be bothered? When we with the man that we really love, we doop. So I'm just saying, so I don't know if at some point, I mean, we're talking about it in the courtroom, right? People, once we step out, that was it really a grape, or did you kind of say he forced himself on you because your now husband, and back then was your boyfriend, found out and you realized that you were never going to replace Kim Porter? Because that's what we're finding out, is the fact that, you know, she really ended it after she had spent time with him after Kim Porter's death, and after he made the public statement that Kim was his soulmate and all of these things. That was the nail in the coffin for her. After that, there was no more communication, because she went to the funeral with him, the memorial service. She supported him, and he still, after all she had done, he was still giving Kim Porter the props, and people that were there said Cassie knew her place when it came to KP. She knew she was the somebody said, now I won't say who, said that when Kim came up in the house, when Kim walked through, yeah, to the left, okay? Not my words, this is what people are saying. I don't know. So it says, Cassie, who is heavily pregnant with her and Alex's third child, wrapped up her testimony Friday, noting her experience was challenging but empowering. She did pretty good. She was up there like 3 days, and for the most part, she was strong. She didn't break. She broke down a couple times. I think, again, like we'll get into it in the deep dive, but she did good. She did good. But some of her testimony made her look a little shaky too. It's like y'all was on some ish together. I'm just saying. You can't send out text messages and then 10 years later come back and say, oh, I didn't mean that. I don't know, because how do we know? Okay, but anyway. After Cassie finished her time on the stand, former Danity Kane singer Don Richard testified she saw Diddy assault Cassie in 2009 and would rough her up often. And that's another thing. They're establishing a pattern that Diddy had in terms of how he treated his workers. I think they're trying to establish the coercion, because after that happened, Don said on the witness stand that Diddy told her, you didn't see what you think you saw, and people can come up missing. So it's kind of like a low-key threat, you know. By the way, we spoke with Aubrey in our documentary TMZ, and she told us Diddy wanted to buy her silence. Well, hell, did he buy it? While with publishing rights, and knew exactly what was happening when she saw him offer his old artists rights to their music, claiming it had to come with some strings attached. Now, I'm going to say this. I met Black Rob's sister, and she kind of clarified some things to me in terms of this whole thing with the publishing rights. By the time Diddy was going to give it to him, he wasn't necessarily trying to buy their silence. It wasn't worth anything to him anymore. And so after all of, you know, he had got, and to her brother, you know, because she talked about it, and she's supposed to do an interview. So she kind of made it sound like at this point it wasn't like he even needed anything. It was just like there was so many people coming against him, because remember, he did that before all of this stuff broke, that he did it because he was getting lambasted in the media, you know, for holding on to these people's publishing. So I mean, I don't know. Aubrey seems to think it was because he was trying to buy their silence. Other people don't think that's necessarily the case. But anyway, y'all jump in the comments and let me know your thoughts, and I will see you on the next video. I'll be boots on the ground back in the court on Monday. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay for the trial, and if I don't stay this whole time, you know, like I might go home, come back, because I got stuff to take care of in California. But y'all, I'm having a great time in New York, and shout out to Max. Thank you.